This build looks like it's going to play pretty similarly to current retail Catweaver, which I really enjoy. The only things that are like different are you're going to do some things differently, like playing around Soul of Force. You're going to have to use one of your single target heals after instead of a Wild Growth because they changed it. But that's okay. It still gives you kind of that AoE benefit from Soul of the Forest. Now it's going to spread those rejuves, or it's going to also cause your life bloom to like bloom AoE. So you're still getting that AoE effect. You just aren't forced to press wild growth there. We're going to be just slamming out a bunch of blooms. They're going to be bursting. We're going to do a bunch of bloom healing, hopefully, depending on how it's tuned. We still have Convoke to lean on. I'm not playing Trank, and thus I'm not playing like Flourish. So that could be a downside, but the good thing about this build is that you're spamming around so much HOTS that you shouldn't need the cooldowns sometimes. Because we're still playing a lot of the regrowth like synergies for that ramp to kind of take the place of a cooldown in most cases. The downside though is that in these new dungeons, I don't know the mechanics fully yet or when the damage comes, so we might get caught with our pants down with no hots out, which could punish us. Um, but we'll figure it out once we get there. So I'm guessing I know tanks are supposed to be like super sustainable in themselves. But I think the play is to symbiotic relationship and life bloom the tank and just full commit our main hots onto the tank. And then from there, we can just like cleave heal onto the rest of the other people. Because we have some cool cleave healing mechanics coming into Midnight where like our regrowth, I forget where it is, but our regrowth hot is also going to be healing everyone else that has the regrowth hot. And also our regrowth hots are going to funnel into that life bloom target. So as long as I keep life bloom on the tank and regrowth around the rest of the people, we should have some. We're in the dungeon. Okay, we should have some very good cleave healing. So let's go ahead. I shouldn't life bloom to lead because that is how we place our efflorescence. Oh yeah, this is the one where all the enemies sound like Sheik from Super Smash Bros. I honestly, I'm not going to care too much about my damage. Also, I'm realizing now that I don't have details meters showing. So maybe we can get like a little reprieve during the action and set that up, you know? So far, it seems like the hot healing. I was afraid that the hots would not be like tuned enough. They're at least tuned to a passable amount. Like at least regrowth feels like it's doing some fine healing, right? Okay, let's get these details meters showing. I want to say like, give me, oh, 1 sec, please. Good luck, team. Damage, I think. Enable damage meter. Okay, we're gonna rock with damage meter until I'm able to set it up fully. So it looks like that's a slow. It looks like that little circle is a slow, so any slow remove will remove it. That's why me swapping to cat form was able to remove that debuff, which is pretty cool. The downside to like having this talent place your efflorescences under whoever, yeah, see me popping out a cat form there, also remove the slow. But the downside to my efflorescence placing my, I'm sorry, my life bloom placing my efflorescence is you can see here, like I'm placing life bloom on the tank and he is not like central to the group. So then I need to place it on myself in order to recenter it to the group, and then you know we have a good placed efflorescence. So I don't know. This talent, it does enhance your efflorescence healing, and it also reduces the amount of globals that you have to spend, which is always welcome, right? But the downside of not guaranteeing that you have your efflorescence where you prefer it is definitely a downside. So, we got to, let's go ahead and Swiftman this hunter. He had a heal absorb. He had not full health too, so get some more dots out if we can. It kind of works out that every time I go to get my dots out, I am getting this slow on me as well. Okay, let me go ahead and swap the damage meters to healing now that I'm thinking about it. Yikes. Okay, we are getting gapped by the tank. What even is Brewmaster in Midnight? Okay, okay, but hold on. It shows stagger. It literally shows stagger on damage meters. They didn't want to get. They didn't even give us a chance, man. Are there still charges? Are there still? I just said you. Are there still 2 charges of life bloom? I don't think so. I couldn't find the talent that used to give you 2 charges. And I think now you just get more benefits on it. Okay, so what is this? He targets me with Decimate. This looks like it's going to hurt. Yeah, okay. So maybe I should have taken that out. Oops. I mean, we can just do a double check, but I don't believe so. Don't believe so. We have Convoke as a panic button, but for the most part, like, as long as we're staying on top of these hots, we should be fine. Yeah, me placing that swirly in the center of the room seems like a misplay. Oopsie. Let's go ahead and Life Bloom the tank. It will limit who all gets in that efflorescence, but should be a-okay. And having our Regrowth hot on everyone will help the bloom spawning on them, but it'll also funnel more healing into every other Regrowth. So as long as we have those Regrowths around, we're doing fine healing. I'm going to place Life Bloom on myself just to center my efflorescence. And then we just get back to the cycle. Like I said, Soul of the Forest did receive a pretty big change. So now instead of casting Swiftmend into Wild Growth, you cast it into like a Rejuve or a Regrowth. And it'll make that kind of cleave to some extent. But yeah, if you don't look at the healing meters and see that our Brewmaster is absolutely blasting, then the numbers actually show that Resto Druid is healing for a fine amount. Like, I feel like all of my healing sources are moving health bars, which is, you know, that's what you would ask for, right? Is this a default Blizzard raid frame? Yes, I did toggle on raid frames, not just party frames. So that's why they look more like Cell kind of. But yeah, this is the default Blizzard frame, just with the checkbox of, hey, look like raid frames, please. That's all it is. Ceiling Panda, what's up, Ceiling Panda? Do you know how Brew's DPS is calced? I don't. I mean, I don't. Do you mean, like, do I know the equation of, like, their attack power times versatility times 1.9? Like, do I know that? I don't. I don't know that, if that's what you're asking. I must have butt pulled these guys, because they came from my rear. Stagger equals damage as they... What? No way. That's not real, is it? That is so not right. If that's how that works, that their damage shows their stagger as damage done to themselves. Oh, well, hey, he must be popping off on the meters, because he was doing damage to himself there, let me tell you. Let's try to keep this rogue alive, because I feel like he has all the aggro. Our tank's back, though. One thing about that's really annoying is I thought it would be really nice to show the Life Bloom's cooldown because of how important it is to your new rotation. I mean, it always has been important, right? But it kind of is annoying that, like, me tracking Life Bloom's cooldown is tracking the cooldown and not the buff of Life Bloom. Like, I wish it would like fade away as, you know, my Life Bloom hot fades on the target it's on. That way it's more usable information, right? If it shows you, like, hey, your target with Life Bloom, that Life Bloom has, like, X amount of duration on it, as opposed to, like, always being lit up. Like, literally, what's the point of me tracking Life Bloom if it's going to look like this, right? So let's look at damage. Let's look at damage. I want to see the damage meters. Dude, there's no shot. There's no shot that stagger shows up on damage meters. That is so dumb. Because then if you pay attention, one, stagger should not be shown on either meter. Like, honestly, it should not be shown on damage or healing. But both meters, if you remove stagger, show that Brewmaster is not looking hot. We're going to put our external on the tank here. He is not happy here. And he's pulling more. Yikes. Okay, we are spamming regrowths here. But yeah, that damage meter shows like his damage is all stagger, and it honestly stagger should not be shown. Okay, rogue pulled. Maybe we can salvage. Yes, we can.
Let its darkness fill you.
Okay, I don't have convoke. Our tank is down again. Goodness gracious. I feel like we weren't meaning to pull all that. We're just gonna stand in these swirlies. But Ceiling Panda, that is hilarious, dude. That is so bad. I mean, it's like, whoa, Brewmaster's doing so much damage. Nope, he's doing all like over half of his damage to himself, that is big sad, dude. So yeah, they need to buff some damage sources of Brewmaster for sure, and then remove stagger from the meters. Okay, let's go back to healing, where stagger also shows as healing done. So dumb. I really hope they let us track the seconds left on the buffs. And yeah, it needs to happen. It just needs to happen. You need to be able to like, oh, rogue pulled. Rogue pulled. Let's go ahead and Nature's Swiftness. That means that our next Convoke is going to be lower power. Our tank is just absolutely getting clobbered. I have every hot on our tank right now. Okay. Man has 50k stagger, which is like means he is just taking a walloping. We're gonna put our external back on him. Also gonna convoke here. It's underpowered because I don't have Nature's Swiftness, but still, let's go ahead and Swiftmint him too. Let's just keep him topped up. You see there, I Swiftminted right into a Wild Growth. You don't have to do that anymore. Wild Growth is no longer buffed by Swiftmint. Okay, honestly though, other than the one death to the guy pulling this mob, this pack trucks, dude. Absolutely trucks. Let's go and get our combo points. Like I said, I'm not really caring too much about weaving in damage, just for the simple fact that I don't fully know the mechanics in this dungeon. Admittedly, like I feel like I don't mind admitting that. I did not play when this dungeon was a thing, so I am much more fresh than some of the other content creators you're going to see on these mechanics. So, we learn together. I do know, though, that this is a heal absorb. Let's go ahead and move our life bloom, then start spamming some some regrowths. Also, I don't know why, but why doesn't Symbiotic Blooms, unless I'm missing it, is Symbiotic Blooms just not showing on our health bars? I feel like knowing how many stacks Symbiotic Blooms people have is so important. Also, Vicar literally just comes in, kicks me in the jaw with I guess it's like a happy kick. What would that be? What's a happy kick? I don't know, but I appreciate it, Vicar, the Prime sub, the Bezos bucks. They go a long way. You know the drill. You're one of the top supporters of the channel. One of the GOATs, so I appreciate you so much. Looks like this Rift Warden's going down much quicker. I don't know why, but he's dying much quicker. So, hey, we take it. Man, as much as this default UI is shit to play with, it's so much better viewer experience. Oh, that's good. Oh, tank got punted back into Shadowlands. You hate to see it. I will say, you know, Thrall, I do agree, like, it's at least, like, easy enough to display. Like, it's not really the worst way to display information to a viewer. However, I will say one thing that I think that you guys are missing out on coming in, like, you guys as the viewer are missing out on, is I hate that there's no way, at least that I know of, to show what spells I'm casting. You know how in current retail, like, I guess I should just say as on live servers, there's the details has the built-in like streamer plugin where I can show you like the spells that I'm casting and the order that I'm casting them in. Yo, in Limbo, dude, I appreciate you coming in really strong with a second Prime sub, dude. Following it up, saying Vicar hoot. No, I'm just kidding, Vicar. Dude, in Limbo, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the Bezos bucks. You know, Jeff Bezos doesn't need them, but I really appreciate him. So thank you so much. I can help with that down the line. Yeah, you know what, Ceiling Panda? We can use your big brain. We could definitely use your big brain. So I'll definitely be hitting you up. If they don't introduce something, I'll hit you up. But yeah, you know, Details has that built-in like spells cast plugin, and it's really good for streaming. Like you know, it's just nice as the streamer to know, you know, my viewers know what spells I'm casting, the order I cast them on, the target I cast them on, and they don't have to y'all don't have to follow my mouse to get all that information. You know, that is just like a nice thing. Unfortunately, as far as I know, there's no way to display that. There might be some random add-on that some person made that shows that, maybe. As far as I know, unless you guys know of one, I don't think there is one just yet. But yeah, that is the one thing that I feel like you guys are losing, you know, so far on this beta experience the most as viewers is that. They removed tracking it in midnight. Oh, really? Like they're just full on just removing it? Like removing the, I think you mean tracking like hot durations, right? Is that what you're talking about? But I appreciate you, Tomas. Oh, also, I got a request to release my UI to you guys. Some of you guys that are playing on the beta want my UI and just want to, I forget this boss's mechanic, by the way. Hopefully I don't troll this group. But some of you guys were like, hey, I'm playing on the beta and I would love your UI. Like, how can I download it? I'm still trying to figure it out, but I think all I have to do is like figure out where my folder, my beta interface folder is, and then just create a copy, like a zip file or something, and then link it to you guys. So I'll figure out how to do that off stream, or unless like you guys know an easy way to do it, just hit me up with that like on Discord, and I'll definitely get my UI available to you guys for at least the beta. Look, it's not the prettiest UI because it's limited on what we can do. However, you know, I've set it up the way that I at least like it. Also, this affix, this weekly affix with this mechanic is horrible. Like, how am I supposed to... Oh, I guess it's not that bad. You should wait until the mechanic goes away. Oh, symbiotic bloom. Yeah, honestly, that I forgot I mentioned that, to be honest, Fueler. But, man, you need to know how many symbiotic blooms are on your allies. Why is that not a thing? Like, surely that was accidental, right? Surely that was accidental. I have a feeling that this fight is going to be much like the Candle King, and that these orbs are going to really like pulse a lot of damage, and you're gonna have to really crank once you drop like your second wave, which I like. I love those like heal checky things. Hey, you can make a copy and edit mode. Okay, that's very good to know, Saint Crits. Very good to know. I'll make a post in my Discord tonight, saying like, here's how to import this copy, and then on top of that, the add-ons that I use is Click, and here's how to use Click. You know, I'll kind of give like a step-by-step instruction to like literally mimic my UI. I feel like would that be beneficial to you guys, or what do you guys think? Or at least if you're someone who wants my beta UI, would that be beneficial? Let's go ahead and eat this guy's affix. It is weird because I want my efflorescence. No, I want my life bloom on my tank. But unless we're all centered around the tank, that's, you know, not super feasible with the efflorescence. So it kind of sucks, but it feels like I need to put my life bloom on myself in order to guarantee that it's centered around the group and just position myself centered. I have aggro, so I'm going to chill for a bit. Which I don't know. Oh, hey, by the way, I guess I am tracking Life Bloom as a bar when it's on myself. So maybe that's not the worst thing, putting it on yourself. Because that bar display is much better. You see here... Ooh. Let's cleave those rejuves. This requires a lot of healing. I definitely should have committed Convoke about 3 globals ago, but hey, it's never too late to heal. Also, what is this red tornado? Do you guys know? Is that like coming from my Warlock or something? Because I've seen it on every pack. And I feel like it's not an NPC thing, right? Yeah, maybe life blooming yourself. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I life bloomed the tank and it shows as a bar. So I guess that is a very good way to track your life bloom. is have it as one of your bars shown. I didn't even notice that I had that. See, now I see the life bloom ending, so I'm just going to reapply it. Which, that is fantastic. Oh. So let's cleave a regrowth. Oh my goodness, dude. A Swiftmend boosted, or I guess a Soul of the Forest boosted regrowth really cranks. Yeah, okay. Having Lifeloom here as a bar. I didn't even notice that in my UI earlier. I apologize. But that is a fantastic way to display it. You can get add-on cooldown manager named Nephew. I've heard some like chirps about Nephew. I've heard a lot of people say it kind of turns your UI into similar to what Weakors do. The downside though is that I don't really know how accessible these add-ons are going to be come live. So I kind of just want to go through beta with as much as little add-ons as possible, you know what I mean? That way we can kind of build our UI with what we know is going to be available to us at the start, and then build from there once Midnight actually comes out, you know what I mean? I feel like that's just like the safest, not the best way, but the safest way to do it. Oh yeah, this is the boss that has these orbs kind of spitting out, right? I don't fully remember this boss's mechanics, but I remember the bosses in this dungeon weren't too crazy until the final one. But I remember the final boss was only kind of crazy because I didn't know what was going on, and after we wiped one time, it was pretty simple from there. Yo! Koi plays things! I appreciate you. Also, your name reminds me, I really want a koi pond. I've always wanted an aquarium of some sort, and me and my wife are kind of to the stage where we have a house, and we don't really have the money to like remodel anything at all. But one thing that we could kind of look to do is make our backyard kind of make it look prettier than it is right now, because it's an awful backyard. And I think the one thing that I want to add the most is like a pond of some sort, and my dream pond would be a koi pond. However, I don't really know how much. I'm sure koi fish are like expensive, right? If I just had to guess. And yeah, but I appreciate you so much. Just make sure it's safe from birds. They love to eat us. Oh, that's a fantastic point. I will do so. I will do so. I would do so in like a very humane way, where if I had a pond, I would have something covering the pond that would not harm the birds. They would just deter the birds for sure. Because I also really love birds, and I love looking out our back windows and seeing birds as well. So that's a very good point. I'm glad I mentioned it and just like randomly yapped about it. It literally has nothing to do with the stream. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just like get reminded of things and go off on weird little tangents. This guy is casting bolts around, and Blizzard. Can't do anything about it. I guess I could Typhoon him, but that's just like a band-aid. Yeah, the little fire tornadoes. I feel like those are from like my Warlock, maybe like a tier set bonus. I guess it's a season 1 tier set, so maybe not a tier set bonus. But they keep like spawning in. You see, I guess as we're in combat, maybe they were a mechanic of one of the ads that we were fighting, because now I'm not seeing them. However, I've seen them multiple times this dungeon. I don't know what is causing them. But I want to get to the bottom of it. Maybe it's a Brewmaster thing. Who knows? Fire Tornado is from the Brewmaster. Oh, dude, that is sick. That is sick. I need to take a look at that talent. Illyrian, if you could, like, if you know the name of that talent, so I can at least, like, Google it, I guess. It sounds really cool. You just spawn all these tornadoes around you. However, the funny thing is since I did not know what those tornadoes were, I have literally been dodging them the whole time. Literally, I'll be sitting here, like, dodging these tornadoes and stuff. Okay, I think we're safe. Okay, how does this boss work again? I'm pretty sure he marks 2 people with a dot as they drop, like, more puddles and stuff. I'm not fully sure, but what I know I need to do is keep this guy dotted up. Keep my group hotted up. Ah, yes. Okay, so we have these that come out and do damage to us. I'm going to dot up the one that targets me. I'm not really going to do a full-on rip to it. However, what I can do is just in this downtime, I can just maintain Rake to rack up some combo points. Oh, this we need to move into, right? So I'm going to cast Stamp, Roar. Yeah, because this circle closed. Okay, it's all coming back to me. I remember. But I'm going to sit at 5 combo points for once those tentacles come out. Also, this mechanic is very good for my new efflorescence talent, where it goes on our life bloom target, because now it's just like super easy to apply. I'm going to sit at 5 combo points, like I said. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We can build more. But I definitely do want to have some hots out for the tentacle phase. So let's get some rejuve spread. I feel like we have some amount of time. Yeah, he's casting umbral tentacles now. So I selfishly will go to my own. Okay, that's enough, right? And then we're going to cast Convoke for healing. Because I knew, just like, knowing pugs, they always just run to, I guess, the furthest one, I would think, is what a pug would do. But I think what you're going to want to do in Mythic Plus is you're going to want to run to the healers first. And then you're probably going to want to, like, stack up or something. I don't really know. I don't really know how you're going to do that mechanic in Mythic Plus, but I would guess you'd run and kill the healer's tentacle first. You would treat it like the spears in Ecodome Aldani, where, like, if the healer's one of the spears, you definitely try to break them first, you know? That would be my guess. But that's why I went and dotted my own tentacle first, because I just figured. Hiding Symbiotic Bloom was intentional. It was the beta note, sadly. Oh, no, that's so tragic. Well, that's, like, so far, that's my biggest feedback. Why? It's literally a hot. It's a hot. Why would you not be able to see it? I mean, I'm not, like, disagreeing for. I'm just, like, giving feedback on the fact that it was changed, which is very unfortunate. Also, we might time this key. Well, we should, but was not intending on timing anything, honestly. Exploding Keg also causes your next 2 casts of Keg Smash to summon a Whirl of Flame, which spirals outward, dealing attack power additional fire damage to each enemy struck. I wonder if that the Fire Tornado also interacts like Fire Breath does, where if you Keg Smash on them, it coats them in, like, your little Keg Brew stuff. And then I wonder if let me just have Efflorescence down, just to be safe. Also, like, I know we need to break these things, but I wonder if that, like, fire damage also... I'm gonna go ahead and Convoke, because I know people are having to run through this, like, puddle here. I wonder if that fire damage also interacts with the brew to some extent. We need to break this. I'm also gonna just be spamming around heals. Don't kill me. Okay. Yeah, those things do pulse a lot of damage. We did miss one. My game crashed. But luckily, we're playing Tiger Dash. My game crashed and then my mouse disappeared. Oh, beta. Oh, beta. Never change. I'm going to, like, hug the boss here and life bloom. That way my efflorescence is kind of centered under the boss. But we ideally should, if we can, move the boss to a way that we can cleave some of these. Because now we're only going to hit all but one because someone missed theirs last go round. Yeah, okay, now I'm remembering this boss. That Grim Chorus causes my game to lag so bad, and that's, like, the worst mechanic to have lag on, because you have to, like, run away from the boss kind of quickly. I'm going to Convoke for damage, just to say full-on YOLO. Let's just do it. Okay, I am going to get this far one. No, get off of me. I'm glad that you don't have to, like, run behind it, you know what I mean? Oh, it always causes my game to lag so bad. Okay, so we got Swirly Dodge. What's next, boss? So the boss looks like it just, like, evolved. Oh, this is a damage amp. I remember now. This is when I should have damage convoked. What an idiot. I forget he has a damage amp. Dude, I love when bosses have damage amps. That is unfortunate. Unfortunate that my small brain couldn't remember that. Very cool fight, though. Very cool fight. We're not going to watch this. I'll leave it for you guys to watch the first time you kill the boss on your own. That way we don't have any spoilers. But, dude, it's so tragic that Brewmasters show their stagger as damage and healing on these meters, because it just looks like we got turbo gapped. by a Brewmaster, but really, the healing was really good. Well, I guess, hold on, only Regrowth looks pretty solid. Uh-oh. Efflorescence actually looks really fine when you consider the fact that it's not always going to hit all 5 members. Um, Rejuve looks fine. Symbiotic Blooms looks a lot lower, and I'm guessing Bursting Growth also. Yeah, those two sources are much lower than I would hope. But maybe that's just because I'm playing single Swift Mend. So I'm guaranteed less growths. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Moonbeamy on Twitch now? Good to see you over here too. I guess you definitely want those drops, huh? Oh, by the way, there are Twitch drops going. I'm pretty sure still. Correct me if I'm wrong, but last time I checked, they were really good. So, like, was it? Well, shoot. Now I'm getting them mixed up. Maybe not. Maybe not. Only Regrowth looks solid. Classic. Yeah, no. I mean, keep in mind, I did drop Tranquility because I fully intend on regrowthing during damage phases, or tranking if I need to. Let's do a Skyreach 14. I don't know this dungeon well enough to where I think a 14's doable, but you know what? YOLO. You literally only live once.